They must be pretty confident on the tyres then, because they're sending him out for a 28-lap final stint. Or no, they can't be. 6 seconds of fuel. He must be stopping again a 4th time.
That'd be a surprise. Be amazing if he's on a 4-stopper. But if not, as you said, it's a long way to go.
Well, 28 laps. There's no way you can do that with 6 seconds worth of fuel. I mean, 6 seconds of fuel is something in the region of about 45 kilos. That will only get him. That will only get him 18, 19 laps.
Yep. So. Very strange then. I wonder if there was a problem creeping in there and the beats then.
Certainly does. Michael Schumacher 11 seconds behind. You need about 18 or 19 in your pocket to be able to pit and rejoin. Alonso then on the attack once again, putting another lap on Felipe Massa. 12th place in the Sauber. There's been a good scrap between the two Saubers all afternoon. Massa started out in front. Fisichella got past him in the pit stops. Now Massa is back in front again. Really are tremendous battle for honour in that team. We don't see them very often on television, least of all battling each other, but believe me, they are really having a go, and Alonso feels that he could perhaps have let him through a little earlier. Well, Alonso, it's very interesting, Martin. We saw at the Spanish Grand Prix, you remember those people from his region of Spain, the northeast corner called Asturias, northwest corner, Asturias. They have that blue flag with the cross on it. Out on the track yesterday morning, there were thousands of people with those flags. He's obviously now got his own little equivalent of Schumi's Barmy Army that's starting to travel now. We've never seen that before in Formula One. It's Spanish fans travelling to overseas Grand Prix. It's certainly a trend that Alonso will want to encourage.
It is, but he's got to stop shaking his fist. The other driver probably can't see, because he can't look over the side very well. Certainly doesn't care, otherwise he wouldn't got in the way in the first place, and for sure Alonso would then have lost a good half second under braking, because he would have not attacked Adelaide in the same way he would normally do, and that half second may win in the Grand Prix this afternoon the way it's shaping up. So there is just no point. It's an understandable reaction though.
Well, it's funny enough, it's exactly half a second what it cost him. Looking at the timing computer, he was 11 seconds ahead of Michael Schumacher, and he's dropped a second from that point to the same point a lap later. So, as you say, waving your fist doesn't pay, either on the roads or on the racetracks. That then is the top 8 at the moment. Disappointing showing for Montoya. The McLarens, they'll look at this and say, well, 6th and 7th, but half a minute down on the race leaders. But nevertheless, it's good to see McLaren back in business. Both Coulthard and Raikkonen are lapping faster than Barrichello ahead of them at the moment. So it's not all over yet for them either. Coulthard just 3 seconds behind the Ferrari of Barrichello, who is currently in 5th place. We're right on board again with Alonso. Traffic coming up through the fast first curve. 165 miles an hour they carry through there.
Bit of a slow-mo replay for you to see the contact patches bouncing around. In fact, that's one of his lower flights this afternoon, isn't it? That particular one. Alonso's lead, 10.3 seconds then. We believe they've all got to pit one more time then, and the Jordan nicely out of the way. And Louise has tracked down Zolt Baumgartner.
Yeah, no points this weekend, Joel. What went wrong for you?
Yeah, I did a small mistake in turn 3, and that's why I couldn't finish the race, and I stopped in the gravel. It was so far quite good from that I was stuck, and I had pushed my teammate very hard, so was...
Thanks, Joel.
Let's hope he doesn't do that in Piccadilly Circus on Tuesday afternoon. But Baumgartner then out of the race. 2 retirements still. His spin he just told you about, Sato's engine problem we saw much earlier on. 18 runners. Renault in the pits of Alonso.
Race leader Fernando Alonso comes in for this 3rd stop of the afternoon with 24 laps to go. Ted's down there. How much fuel are they putting in, Ted?
Well, this will give it away. Let's see. The clock is going. Pat Simmons, Renault's engineering chief, has been doing his calculations. Now that looks like that's 8 seconds. He does not have to stop again. They're in with a really good chance here, guys.
He doesn't. Michael Schumacher was...
Intentional, such a short 13-lap stint between stops. It did give him track position. He was pulling some stunning lap times. I wonder if that was totally intentional, whether they didn't get quite enough fuel in at one of the stops, something like that. But Michael Schumacher got the drive of his life then if he wants to win this one this afternoon. If we're right, he's got to come in again. And if we're not right, I don't understand how they've got enough fuel in it.
Well, absolutely right. He stopped on lap 42, put 6.5 seconds worth of fuel into the... See what Alonso can do. What's the margin at the moment then as Alonso goes across the start-finish line, 11.5 seconds.
Yeah, it'll be a very short stop for Michael as well. It's a short pit lane, not particularly fast pit straight, so you know, the penalty of stopping here is not particularly high. It'll be his 4th one of the afternoon. Now that's doable, isn't it? But it's going to be nip and tuck. He's going to need some great laps. But Alonso has got to absolutely max out every braking zone, get past every back marker effortlessly if he wants to win the Grand Prix.
Certainly has. He's 11.5 seconds behind. Let's not lose sight of the other battles on the racetrack. Trulli is 3rd, still only just a second ahead of Jenson Button. He'll be sick of staring at the back of that Renault, as he has all weekend, all race I should say. Button 4th then, Barrichello 5th, unable to do anything about the 2 cars in front of him. They're all on a similar sort of pace, which is not the pace of Schumacher and Alonso, who've been a league of their own here this afternoon. And Coulthard 6th, Raikkonen 7th. Raikkonen was closing quite quickly, Martin, on David Coulthard, but no longer. They seem to have settled down now, those two. Raikkonen having made his 3rd stop of the afternoon, Coulthard yet to make his. We'll see how that works out between the 2 McLaren drivers. And then Montoya 8th, Webber 9th, going strongly, just outside the points for Jaguar, but very, very consistent on his lap times. Marc Genet, though, in the 2nd of the Williams, is not in the points. He's down in 10th place, and I think he'll be a bit disappointed with that on his 2004 debut for Williams.
Jordan clearing the way easily there for Michael Schumacher down at Adelaide Hairpin. Coulthard for his 3rd stop. Let's see if that nozzle comes out. Well, it does indeed. No problems at all then for David Coulthard. Should keep him ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. But Michael Schumacher made 0.7 of a second on Alonso last time around. That sort of pace is just about the margin you were talking about, James.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now 12.2 the gap. And, well, he needs about 18 or so. So still got to find another 6 seconds. But if Alonso can respond and just peg that gap, just hold it for the next 8 or 9 laps, he might just have a chance. Has he got it in him? Has the car got it in him? Or is Michael Schumacher going to prove just too strong on the afternoon?
We're expecting Trulli and Button in on this lap too. They're currently 3rd and 4th, just 1.5 seconds apart. Button's going to be fed up with this sight of the rear wing of Jarno Trulli's Renault by the end of the afternoon. I wonder if they can do anything about it in the pit stop. Trulli pits and Button carries on.
Button up into 3rd then, because Trulli has come into the pits. Mechanics go to work. Fueling him to the end of the Grand Prix. That was his 3rd stop. On board then with the new 3rd place man, Jenson Button, chasing his 7th podium of the 2004 season, giving that Honda maximum bananas down the main straight. Almost 200 miles an hour they get hit before they get on the brakes for that Adelaide hairpin. Let's, you can see behind the BAR there is Rubens Barrichello, closer than he has been for some time.
And the BAR team, strangely enough, have gone back into the garage. Whether they were playing tactics with Renault, I don't know. Williams are coming out, but Barrichello is now just a few tenths behind Jenson Button. You'll see him in the background there. The Button under pressure too. So he's looking both ways down the track at the moment. He's hopefully trying to get past Jarno Trulli's Renault, but Barrichello, we know, he's got a very fast car underneath him. They're both lapping. Let's see, 1 minute 16.3. Good pace.
Well, Button pitted a lap earlier than Trulli last time round, but he put more fuel in. So this is a longer stint for Jenson Button. Is he making it work? That was a cracking lap. His fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far in the high 1 minute 15s. Just what he needed, Martin.
And he was hustling at that time, wasn't he, through the final chicane? He took off. So Jenson, knowing this is a pivotal moment, Trulli's made his stop, but Barrichello's threatening him, and somehow he's got to pull out some stellar laps. Oh no, he's got downshift, back end got away from him slightly. That'll cost him half second. Montoya pits for the 3rd time too. He was in 6th place, but Button then really on the ragged edge, trying to squeeze a few more BAR Honda.
Certainly is. Well, we saw Coulthard coming out of the pits just before. He did rejoin in front of Raikkonen, but behind Mark Webber. However, the Jaguar has only stopped twice this afternoon, so I don't know whether he has to stop again. I would imagine he does, with 20 laps still to go here. So that will drop Mark Webber out of the points, unless he's on some sort of extraordinary strategy. Juan Montoya has made his 3rd stop of the afternoon as well. as we look at Jenson Button. Where's he going to... VAR are in the pit lane. The Ferrari of Barrichello dives in. Here you can see the mechanics coming out now. Barrichello in then.
Well, Barrichello's in. It looks like Button's tyres are already out of the blankets. So a good stop there for Ferrari. About the right sort of time you'd expect on a 3-stop afternoon. But I wonder why Button's tyres are out of the blankets so early. He's got another 70 seconds before he pits after he goes past the start-finish line. I wonder, they couldn't have been expecting him in. They weren't fully ready for him. Now they are, of course. He's got about a half a lap to do as he heads down to the just 2/3 of a lap to do, actually.
So very important pit stop coming up for Button then. 2 things to watch out for as Webber makes his 3rd stop of the afternoon, which drops him out of the points again. 2 things to watch out for. He was battling Trulli and he was battling Barrichello. If he's been too slow, he'll be passed by Barrichello. If he's been fast enough, he'll pass Jarno Trulli. Quite a lot riding on this stop, really. This is for 3rd place in the Grand Prix. The final podium position.
He did a 15.9, as you pointed out, James, and a 16.1, so his pace has been good. But, will he pit this time? The team have sort of kind of been expecting him for a while, but he will go straight on. Sure, he's got to attack that speed line, and Ted is down there.
This will be very, very close with Jarno Trulli. The tyres have been out of the blankets, as you say, for ages, almost a lap. The Michelin tyres are almost bald. There are no problems with getting the fuel hose on at least. The stop going well so far. He rides the limiter and he's away. Good. Oh no, late going away. Decent stop though for Jenson.
Well, yeah, but he lost about a second there, didn't he? Surely. Where are Trulli? Where is Barrichello?
I don't know. I think he'd have been side by side with Trulli into Estoril corner. But look, he tries to hang on round the outside, but all you're going to do there is lose your right front wheel on that one. The car in front is always going to squeeze you off the racetrack. Jenson Button then, now sadly not even able to steer directly at the rear wing of Jarno Trulli. So a very costly moment there for Button.
Car 19 under investigation. Giorgio Pantano. No, it's not. Beg your pardon. Yes, it is. Giorgio Pantano in the Jordan. Under investigation. Not quite sure what that's about. Quite often that means speeding in a pit lane in Formula 1. We'll find out soon. Well, Martin, that stuttery restart from the pit stop certainly cost Jenson Button there, didn't he? He lost a drive-through time penalty, yes, for speeding in the pit lane for Pantano. Look at him, though. He's coming around to try and attack Rubens Barrichello. Same place where Barrichello got him. There is a straight-line speed advantage both these cars have over the Renault we're looking back from now. That of Jarno Trulli. And Button unable to use that first lap bite of the tyres to gain track position. But how much did that cost him, that slow getaway from the pit stop?
That was a second, wasn't it? Something like that, but it would have made the difference, certainly with Barrichello. And maybe he would have been in the slipstream of Trulli rather than being under pressure. So it cost him very dearly. Michael Schumacher's got himself on track while all that's been going on with a 1:15.5 and then a 1:15.9. So he has a 16.4 second lead. It's looking close, but it's looking good for Michael Schumacher.
14 laps to go at Magny-Cours in France. That's your race leader, Michael Schumacher. His task was to find about 8 or 9 seconds over Alonso during this stint. He looks like he's done it. The last few laps have been kind to Michael Schumacher and rather unkind to Fernando Alonso. There's Ross Brawn on the right, the Ferrari technical director and chief strategist. He's the one that sent Michael Schumacher out on the quest, we believe, of stopping 4 times here this afternoon. It took half the race before Alonso gave up the lead to Michael Schumacher. Schumacher took it by short fueling one of his stops, but he's ahead now of Alonso, and Trulli is in 3rd place. Barrichello is in 4th. Button is in 5th, having lost the chance of taking the final podium position, the 3rd podium position away from Jarno Trulli. Button was slow away from his 3rd pit stop, a stuttering exit he made from his pit box. He could have taken 3rd from Trulli, but was unable to do so, and Barrichello swallowed him up on the back straight on Button's outlap. So Button dropping then down to 5th place with the 2 McLarens of Coulthard and Raikkonen right behind. And Ted has some news for us in the pits.
James, there are a few bits of key information that explain why Michael has done a 4-stop. First of all, he's running a softer tyre than Rubens Barrichello, the softer Bridgestone, and he's also softened up the rear suspension. I noticed on the grid that the torsion bar, his rear torsion bar, was sticking out the back of the bodywork, and a longer torsion bar, Martin, as you know, indicates a softer rear, so that would have made the tyres wear out more. And of course, it's a very short pit lane with a short pit entry. And as I say that, Ferrari are coming out for Michael's 4th and final stop. It's looking good.
That's an urgent decision they've just made, isn't it? They bolted out of their seats, so understandably, because Michael Schumacher's already at the Imola chicane, so just 2 corners to go before the pit lane, and quite clearly they've decided with a 21.7 second advantage, and he's already another half second up on this lap 2 over Alonso, and that's why they've done it, James. Traffic ahead of them. They've decided, that's why the mechanics bolted so quickly, so Michael doesn't lose time between the Williams and the Jordan.
Well, certainly Alonso has lost time in traffic, and that's what's pretty much finished off his challenge. 21 seconds, so himself and Fernando Alonso. That is one of the Jaguars, and Alonso was behind him on the racetrack. Schumacher retains the lead. The 4-stop strategy of Ross Brawn would appear to have worked here this afternoon. The aggressive driving of Michael Schumacher has done the rest, and Ross will no doubt be peeling his mid-race banana fairly soon. Bit of brain food, but as far as he's concerned, his work is done for the afternoon. It's now just up to his driver to bring the car home.
Well, you have to say they've played it nicely, haven't they? The 4-stopper was good, got him out of the dirty air of Alonso to enable him to put in those great lap times, and they always obviously felt comfortable, and we've seen it with our Meet the Team this weekend, how the comfort level between Ross and Michael and the trust they all have together. Ross knows that if he challenges Michael to go and find 10 seconds, he'll do it.
Absolutely right. Schumacher will have been feeding information to him all the time about what the tyres were doing. Obviously made a decision to go for the 4 stops as a result of what they felt the tyres were doing relative to the Michelins, how the car was handling, and Schumacher constantly feeding information back via the radio to Brawn, who keeps him informed as well. It's really is very much a